Perfect. Yes, I mean, and this conversation has to be balanced. I mean, even for the people in the audience who believe that yes, the vaccines did reduce hospitalization. I think the randomized control
So the question,
trials.
to what degree? To what
Yes,
degree? Was it the only option? Was there any safer, cheaper option we could have used?
that's exactly what I was
All
going
of
to
those things need to be part of the discussion. Absolutely. And again, what are the harms? If there was no harm from any of these vaccines, I don't think people would care. Fine. It wasn't particularly effective compared to other vaccines, but we didn't harm anybody and we probably saved some lives. Unfortunately, that's as far away from the truth that we can ever be.
Yeah, from my analysis, it seemed like there was a targeted campaign against effective drugs, vitamin D, ivermectin. There was suppression, or there was kind of
Yeah, not
misrepresentation.
profitable, Johan. 100% agree with you. I wrote a book. I was during the beginning of the pandemic. I was probably the only doctor on mainstream media to repeat that this is the time for us to optimize our immune systems by lifestyle, by diet, by moderate activity, by stress reduction, for example, cutting out ultra processed foods. India, I wrote an article highlighting, of course, the metabolic syndrome, published in a medical journal. I wrote this piece in the journal of the physician, about the fact that actually Indians who are normal weight, who have what we call the metabolic syndrome, is very prevalent and very high cardiovascular risk, and probably a likely high risk from COVID too. But we can rapidly improve this with diet changes. This is something that we should have repeated again, and again. I think the other thing about India in particular is that, if I'm not wrong, I think 65% of the population of India certainly is under the age of 30. So, the low risk people were never going to be at risk of COVID. They didn't need to be locked down. They didn't need to stop working. The whole thing was, globally, it was a mess. The lockdown strategy, the strategy, the mandates, the coercion, we have done damage to world health that will take, and even children's education, for example, kids not being able to go to school because of lockdown, certainly in the Western countries. I don't know how bad it was in India. This is going to cause damage for years and years to come.
Ashutosh, I'll just mention one final point before handing it over to you.
Yes. I think that it has been a very pet subject of Johan, that this pandemic is something beyond medico-academic subject. So how much you agree, doctor? So the collision among nation state and private stakeholders, international private foundations, pharmaceutical premises, and the treasury. So I think that the pharmaceutical company, they thought that they should exploit the treasury of nation state, and they planned everything. And this has been the subject of Johan. So I am asking on behalf of Johan, how much you agree, doctor?
No, I think it's a very good point. So what I would say is that, if we go to the legal entity that is the corporation or the pharmaceutical industry, they have a legal obligation to produce profit for shareholders, not to give you the best treatment. The real scandals are these. The regulators fail to prevent misconduct by the pharmaceutical industry, and that doctors, academic institutions, and medical journals collude with industry for financial gain. That really sums up the big issue. And the science and the truth isn't enough, unfortunately. Opposition from vested interests needs to be overcome. What we are doing in this campaign, all of us together now, is we are highlighting a gross justice where people are losing access to the truth. And and the way to make the change happen is make the injustice visible. Who taught us that? Mahatma Gandhi. If you want to change the world for the better, make the injustice visible, because people want the truth. Most people want to do the right thing. They're just not aware of it. Most people don't know what's happening, and they don't even know that they don't know. So the key to overcoming this problem for the future and transforming the system is through this process, through this conversation, through fighting, being courageous, speaking up, willing to take some hits in the process. That's part and parcel of it, of this journey. But we are really fighting for the future of our health, our children's health, for humanity. And I would conclude with this. The science alone is not enough. Opposition from vested interests needs to be overcome.